Sarah looked at the bills on her table, the paper crumpled from being folded so many times. How did I get here again? She thought, frustration rising like a tide. She was a teacher, a stable career, but the feeling that money was never enough haunted her. Hard work was supposed to be enough, but it seemed the more she tried, the farther she felt from financial security. It was as if the money evaporated before her eyes. Mike stared at his packed schedule, his thoughts as disorganized as his finances. As a business owner, he knew how to make money. Yet, for some reason, the money always seemed to slip through his fingers. Big gains would come, but then disappear just as quickly in impulsive decisions. Why can't I ever hold on to money for long? He wondered. For him, success and failure were unpredictable waves, and the fear of another fall consumed him. Meanwhile, Lisa, a financial consultant who helped her clients with organization, felt ironically that her own financial life was chaos. At work, she was an expert. At home, she was surrounded by disorder. She stashed money in various places but always felt it was out of reach. What am I doing wrong? Lisa wondered. How could she be so competent at work but so lost in her personal life? Something was blocking her prosperity. The three protagonists, unaware, shared the same feeling: frustration. And it was by pure coincidence that they each heard about a spiritual master, known for helping people transform their finances through energy alignment. Sarah overheard someone talking about Master Lin at the supermarket. Mike, in a business meeting, heard a client mention the power of Buddhist teachings. Lisa read about him in an article shared by a friend. Curious and with no clear options left, they decided to investigate. What do I have to lose? Sarah thought as she grabbed the temple's address. Mike, always skeptical, was driven more by necessity than belief. Lisa, intrigued by the idea that the energy of the home could influence finances, decided it was worth a try. And so their journeys began, connected by the same invisible thread: the search for answers. When they arrived at the temple, a sense of calm immediately enveloped them. The place exuded peace, with ancient trees swaying gently in the wind. Master Lin awaited them, his figure calm and unperturbed, as if he was already aware of the worries each carried. How can someone seem so centered in such a chaotic world? Sarah thought, watching him. She immediately felt that he saw more than most people could. Welcome, Master Lin said softly, his voice instantly projecting calm over the three of them. You've come here because you're searching for answers that you haven't yet found. He paused, letting his words sink in. But have you ever stopped to wonder, why does money never stay in your life? Mike crossed his arms, a slight smirk of skepticism appearing on his face. I know why money goes away, bad decisions, the market, things beyond my control. But behind his confident words, something stirred within him. Was there something he was overlooking? Do you think control is what brings prosperity? Asked Master Lin, his gaze firm but not harsh. True control comes from understanding the energy around you. Your home, for example, is an extension of your mind. How you treat your space reflects how you treat your prosperity. His words were simple, but carried deep meaning. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. What if he's right? Lisa, always the practical one, couldn't contain the question gnawing at her. So, how exactly does the energy of our home affect the money we earn? That sounds a bit exaggerated, doesn't it? She hesitated, torn between curiosity and the fear of believing in something that seemed so abstract. Master Lin smiled lightly, as if he knew that question was coming. Imagine your home is a body. Each space has a function, its own energy. When you store money in the wrong places, it's like you're blocking the flow of blood to vital parts of the body. The energy stagnates. And what happens when energy stagnates? It stops flowing, Mike murmured, almost without realizing. He had never thought of money as something that flowed. But suddenly, it started to make sense. His home, his financial life, his business, everything always seemed stuck, as if hitting an invisible wall. Could this wall be something he had created himself? Exactly, replied Master Lin, with a subtle gleam in his eyes. You must learn to release that energy, and the first step is understanding the 7 places where you should never store money. He looked at each of them, his words filled with mystery. Are you ready to start seeing beyond the visible? Are you ready to change how you see your own financial life? The question lingered in the air, bringing with it a wave of curiosity and anticipation. Sarah, Mike, and Lisa knew this was the turning point. They were about to learn something that wouldn't be taught in any financial course, something that would touch the essence of how they lived their lives. But were they ready to believe? The journey to the temple had been longer than Sarah expected. The car crawled slowly up the winding mountain road, while she reflected on what she was about to discover. How could my home be affecting my finances? The question echoed in her mind like a riddle. And what if it was true? What if everything she had believed about hard work and saving was missing an essential piece? Something she had never even considered. Next to her, Mike drove with a furrowed brow, the silence between them heavy. To him, this idea of energy and prosperity seemed like mysticism, a distraction from more concrete things like business and investments. So what do you think he's going to tell us? That we're storing money in the wrong place, and that's why we're always broke? He finally said, his voice filled with skepticism. Could a physical change really bring financial stability? The doubt gnawed at him. Lisa, in the back seat, closed her eyes, trying to find some peace before the meeting. Her brain constantly fired like an uncontrolled engine, analyzing every detail of her professional life, while her personal life was left in shambles. How can I be so organized at work, but feel like everything's falling apart at home? She could barely contain her nerves. Would Master Lin have answers for her? Or would this be just another frustrating attempt to find a solution? When they arrived at the temple, the air seemed to change. The atmosphere was serene, almost magical. Ancient trees surrounded the place, like silent guardians of ancient wisdom. Master Lin was waiting for them, his calm and steady presence, as if he were aware of the concerns each carried. How can someone seem so centered in such a chaotic world? Sarah wondered as she observed him. Immediately, she felt that he could see more than ordinary eyes could. "Welcome," Master Lin said softly, his voice casting an immediate calm over the group. "You've come here because you're searching for answers that you haven't yet found." He paused, letting his words resonate. "But have you ever stopped to ask yourselves, why does money never stay in your lives?" Mike crossed his arms, a slight smirk of skepticism on his face. "I know why the money goes away. Bad decisions, the market, things beyond my control." But beneath his confident words, something stirred within him. Was there something he had been ignoring? "Do you think control is what brings prosperity?" asked Master Lin, his gaze firm but not harsh. "True control comes from understanding the energy around you. Your home, for instance, is an extension of your mind. How you treat your space reflects how you treat your prosperity." His words were simple, yet loaded with depth. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. What if he's right? Lisa, ever the practical one, couldn't hold back the question gnawing at her. So how exactly does the energy of our home influence the money we make? Doesn't that sound a bit exaggerated? She hesitated, torn between curiosity and the fear of believing in something that seemed so abstract. Master Lin smiled faintly, as if he had expected the question. "Imagine your home as a body. Each space has a function, its own energy. When you store money in the wrong places, it's like blocking the flow of blood to vital parts of that body. The energy stagnates, and what happens when energy stagnates? It stops flowing," Mike murmured, almost unconsciously. He had never thought of money as something that flowed, but suddenly it made sense. His home, his financial life, his business, everything always felt stuck, like it was hitting an invisible wall. Could this wall be something he had created? "Exactly," Master Lin replied, a subtle gleam in his eyes. "You must learn to release that energy, and the first step is understanding the 7 places where you should never store money." He looked at each of them, his words filled with mystery. Are you ready to start seeing beyond the visible? Are you ready to change how you see your own financial life? The question hung in the air, bringing with it a wave of curiosity and anticipation. Sarah, Mike, and Lisa knew this was a turning point. They were about to learn something that wouldn't be taught in any financial course, something that would touch the very core of how they lived their lives. But were they ready to believe? The soft sound of the wind filled the silence after Master Lin's question. Sarah looked down, reflecting. Do I really know where my money is going? Or am I just surviving, hoping things will work out on their own? The question echoed in her mind like a puzzle. And what if this was true? What if she had more power over the flow of prosperity in her life than she realized? She was about to find out. Master Lin walked over to a small wooden table and sat down, inviting the three to do the same. "Let's begin with the first place where money should never be stored," he said. He paused, watching each of them closely. "The mattress." "The mattress?" Mike asked, clearly confused. "What's wrong with storing money under the mattress? People have been doing that for centuries. It's safe, easy to access." He leaned back, crossing his arms, waiting for an explanation. Master Lin smiled, but his gaze was serious. "The mattress is where your body and mind find rest and renewal. Storing money under it mixes the energy of rest with the energy of worry. You may not realize it consciously, but every night as you lay down, you are pressing down on your finances, turning what should be a restful place into a subconscious burden." He paused, letting his words sink in. "What happens when your place of rest becomes a battlefield for anxiety?" Sarah frowned. She had a habit of stashing small savings under the mattress for emergencies. But now, hearing Master Lin, she wondered how many restless nights were due to an anxiety she couldn't quite pinpoint. Could my constant financial stress be amplified by something as simple as this? The doubt began to turn into realization. "Money under the mattress is always under pressure," Master Lin continued. "Literally. Every night you're placing weight on it, as if you're suppressing your own prosperity. Instead of allowing money to flow freely, it becomes stagnant, crushed under the weight of worry. This creates an invisible cycle where financial energy can't circulate." Lisa, who used to hide money under the mattress during tough times, shifted uncomfortably in her chair. "That makes sense. How can I expect anything to flourish under constant pressure?" She had always thought she was being clever by hiding money there, but now she wondered, how much has that really cost me over the years? Mike, ever practical, still seemed skeptical. "But how does that really affect my finances? I'm not convinced that where I keep my money at home can have such a big impact." Master Lin turned to him, his gaze direct but serene. "Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, worried about bills or debt? Have you ever felt like the weight of the world was on you, even when everything seemed under control?" The question hit Mike like a punch. He had never linked his sleepless nights to the money under his mattress, but there was something undeniable, that lingering sense of insecurity, even when things were going well. "Money, like us, needs space to breathe, to flow," Master Lin said softly. "When we place it in a space of rest and renewal, like the mattress, we mix energies that shouldn't meet. The result? Your mind never fully rests. And without rest, there is no clarity in financial decisions. And without clarity, how can you expect prosperity to come to you?" Silence fell over the group as each reflected on Master Lin's words. Sarah felt a wave of realization. She had always associated her sleepless nights with everyday stress, never with the money she hid under her mattress. Mike, on the other hand, began to see that maybe financial decisions weren't as simple as numbers and logic. "The first step to attracting prosperity," Master Lin said finally, "is to release money from places of pressure. Take it out from under the mattress. Allow it to flow, just as your energy must flow while you sleep. Prosperity begins with true rest and renewal." With those words, the protagonists began to understand that the changes they needed to make weren't just physical, but spiritual as well. And as they prepared to learn about the other 6 forbidden places, their minds were already being transformed. Could releasing this invisible weight truly change the course of their financial lives? Sarah, Mike, and Lisa were now paying close attention, waiting for Master Lin to continue. They began to see the sense in his words, but what would come next? "Now let's talk about the second place where money should never be stored, the kitchen, specifically the cabinets," said Master Lin calmly. "The kitchen?" Lisa asked, intrigued. How could the kitchen, the heart of the home, interfere with finances? Master Lin smiled softly, sensing the doubt in her eyes. "The kitchen is a place of transformation. It's where elements come together to create something new, something that nourishes the body and soul. However, when money is stored in this environment, that same transformative energy can be dangerous. Money kept in kitchen cabinets absorbs this constant change and becomes unstable. How can you build prosperity when your foundation is always shifting?" Mike looked up at the ceiling, thinking, I keep money in one of the kitchen cabinets, along with documents. It's more practical that way. He paused. But could this habit be fueling the financial volatility I always face? He had never thought of his kitchen as a place where money was transformed, but suddenly it made sense. Additionally, Master Lin continued, cabinets are closed-off spaces often forgotten. Money stored in a place like that becomes hidden from its own energy of abundance. Instead of being in circulation, attracting more, it becomes stagnant, lost among everyday objects. Do you want your money to be as easily forgotten as a can of beans tucked away on a shelf? Lisa crossed her arms, feeling a knot in her throat. She had always thought she was being sensible by hiding money in kitchen cabinets for emergencies. But now, what she had seen as prudence felt more like neglect. Had I hidden my prosperity along with my savings? One more thing, Master Lin said, leaning slightly forward. The kitchen is a warm place. When you store money in a space where the temperature is always fluctuating, it absorbs the energy of heat, which can symbolize impulsiveness, hasty decisions, and unnecessary spending. Like fire that consumes indiscriminately, your money can disappear before you even realize it. Mike slowly nodded. He was a businessman, always seeking stability. But more and more, he realized that his impulsive decisions with money might be the result of the chaotic energy in his home. How did I never see this before? He muttered to himself. Now that you know, Master Lin said, it's time to free your money from these conditions. Taking it out of the kitchen is the first step to bringing stability and security into your financial life. Prosperity cannot grow on unstable ground. His words resonated deeply with them as they reflected on the secrets hidden in their own homes. With the second place revealed, a sense of urgency began to grow in the protagonists. They were eager to learn more, and Master Lin didn't disappoint. Now we come to the third place, he said, his voice low and calm. The bathroom. The bathroom? Sarah asked, with a mix of surprise and confusion. I've never stored money in the bathroom. You'd be surprised how many people hide money in places they believe are discreet, like inside toilet tanks or bathroom cabinets, Master Lin said, his eyes fixed on them. But the bathroom is a place of release and purification. Everything unnecessary is expelled, whether physical or emotional. When you store money here, you're literally washing your prosperity away, both symbolically and energetically. Do you want your money going down the drain? Mike chuckled nervously, realizing how much sense that made. He had hidden money in his bathroom before, thinking no one would ever look there. And what happens to that energy? He asked. Master Lin looked at him serenely. The energy of water in the bathroom flows quickly, carrying away whatever is there. When you place money in this environment, it absorbs the energy of loss. The result? You might earn money, but you'll always feel like you're losing it just as fast. Have you ever felt like money slips through your fingers no matter what you do? Lisa swallowed hard. Actually, yes, she admitted. It always feels like I'm starting over, never able to hold on to anything. She began to understand that maybe the problem wasn't her financial management, but the way money was positioned in her home. Exactly, Master Lin replied, his voice calm but filled with intent. The bathroom should be a place of cleansing, not prosperity. Removing money from here isn't just about logic. It's about respecting the energy of each space. Prosperity blooms when you respect the balance of energy flow in your home. Sarah leaned forward, absorbing every word. Although she had never stored money in the bathroom, the message was clear. The place where you store your wealth is just as important as the financial decisions you make. Everything was connected. The next location revealed was even more surprising. The fourth place where money should never be stored, said Master Lin, is near electronics. Electronics? Lisa repeated. You mean like computers, TVs? Yes, Master Lin replied. Electronics emit electromagnetic waves that disrupt the energy around them. When you store money near electronic devices, it absorbs that unstable, chaotic energy. This can result in erratic financial decisions and impulsive spending. Have you ever bought something without thinking and then wondered why? Mike laughed, recognizing himself in that question. Yeah, I've done that more times than I can count. Money, like you, needs stability. When it's stored near electronics, that stability is broken. It's like trying to sleep next to a noisy factory. you can't rest, and money, in a similar way, can't rest when it's exposed to these chaotic energies. The result is financial disorder, explained Master Lin. Lisa nodded, thinking about how much money she kept in a drawer next to her TV. She had never considered that the energy there could be harming her finances. So where should we store money? If I can't use the drawer by my computer, where should it go? Master Lin smiled. There are safe, calm places in your home, but you need to identify where the energy flows smoothly, without disruption. Money thrives in environments of clarity and peace. Sarah started to see the connection. If electronics emitted so much disorder, no wonder her thoughts were often scattered and her finances chaotic. Maybe the peace I'm seeking in my financial life has more to do with my environment than with my investments. She felt a spark of hope. As the sun began to set on the horizon, the air inside the temple felt lighter, but the lessons were far from over. Now we come to the 5th place, Master Lin began, his voice steady. The attic. The attic? Sarah asked, surprised. I barely ever go up there. Exactly, said Master Lin. The attic symbolizes what is out of sight, out of reach. When you store money in the attic, you're putting your prosperity in a place that's inaccessible, far from your awareness and your energy. How can you connect with something you've forgotten? Mike frowned, remembering that he had stashed some savings in a box in the attic, thinking it was safe. But now it seemed to make sense. If it's out of reach, he murmured, I can't use it when I need it most, and that reflects in my financial life. Master Lin nodded. Money stored in the attic becomes stagnant, forgotten. It doesn't circulate. And when money doesn't circulate, prosperity stops growing. Have you ever felt like your prosperity is always out of reach? That's the impact the attic has on your financial life. Lisa sighed. She had always thought storing money in places she believed were safe was smart, but now she saw how that habit had distanced her from prosperity. What should we do then? She asked. Take the money out of those forgotten places, Master Lin replied. Bring it to where you can see it, where it can circulate, free from blockages. Prosperity can only flow where there is awareness. The 6th place was the most unexpected for all of them. The next place, said Master Lin, is the garage. The garage? Lisa asked, confused. What's wrong with the garage? The garage is a place of movement, of transition, Master Lin explained. Cars come and go, just like the money you store there. When you keep money in the garage, you're symbolically saying that your prosperity is in constant motion, never staying with you. Do you want your money to come and go as quickly as a car on the road? Mike shifted in his chair, remembering all the times he had hidden money in the garage, thinking it was safe. But now, this idea of impermanence bothered him. I feel like I can never hold on to money, he admitted. Maybe this has more to do with the energy in my home than I realized. The garage, continued Master Lin, is a temporary space. The money stored there absorbs that energy and becomes temporary as well. If you want financial stability, you must remove money from places that symbolize constant movement and put it in spaces of security and permanence. Lisa nodded slowly, absorbing the words. She had always thought her financial struggles were due to bad luck or circumstances. But now she was beginning to see that her habits, even the unconscious ones, were shaping her financial reality. Sarah, feeling the weight of the revelation, looked down, thinking of all the times money seemed to slip through her fingers. Could I really change this just by reorganizing the space around me? The last place that Master Lin revealed seemed obvious, but its meaning was deep. The desk, he said, or any workspace, is where we often store money with the intention of keeping our finances organized. But this practice can have the opposite effect. How so? Asked Sarah, intrigued. Isn't it logical to store money in an organized, practical place? Master Lin shook his head gently. The desk is a place of active thought, pressure, planning, and often anxiety. Storing money in a place where you handle daily problems infuses your finances with the same energy of tension and worry. How can you expect your prosperity to grow in an environment filled with anxiety? Mike leaned forward, absorbing every word. So what should we do? Choose a place in your home that represents peace and clarity, replied Master Lin. A place where money can rest and thrive, undisturbed by the pressures of daily life. Prosperity flourishes where there is peace, not where there is worry. Lisa nodded, reflecting on how she often stored money in her desk, along with bills and documents. Now she saw how those energies mixed, turning money into just another problem to solve, rather than a positive flow in her life. Sarah, feeling a new understanding forming, asked, "So where should we store the money? If these places are wrong, where is the right place?" Master Lin smiled, as if knowing this question was coming. The right place is not only physical, but also energetic. The secret lies in finding a calm, stable place where money can attract more prosperity, rather than being stifled by clutter or forgotten in places of transition. The three protagonists, now filled with knowledge, knew what they had to do. The question was no longer whether they could change their financial lives, but how they would make it happen. With Master Lin's revelations etched in their minds, Sarah, Mike, and Lisa returned home with a new mission: to reorganize their financial lives, starting with their physical spaces. The first thing they did was remove money from the places Master Lin had mentioned: the mattress, the kitchen, the bathroom, electronics, the attic, the garage, and the desk. With each action, they felt a weight lift. Sarah began to feel a mental lightness, something she hadn't experienced in years. Could this physical change really be transforming her energy? Days later, an unexpected job opportunity appeared, something she hadn't been looking for, but seemed tailor-made for her. It was as if the universe had finally opened a door. Mike noticed that as he reorganized his home and removed money from chaotic areas, he became more focused in his business decisions. The flow of money, which had once seemed an uncontrollable cycle of highs and lows, began to stabilize. He started to see the power of aligning his environment with his intentions. Lisa, perhaps the most skeptical of all, experienced the most dramatic change. As she removed money from the cabinets and the garage, she felt as though an invisible weight had been lifted. Her home felt more organized, and with it, so did her finances. For the first time in years, she balanced her budget and even had money left over at the end of the month. Could this simple adjustment have caused such a profound transformation? Weeks later, the three returned to the temple to thank Master Lin. "What we learned wasn't just about where to store money," Sarah said, "but about how to honor the energy around us." Master Lin smiled, his gaze full of wisdom. "Prosperity is more than just a financial goal," he said. "It is a harmony between you and the world around you. When you respect that harmony, the universe responds with abundance. True prosperity comes when you are at peace with the energy you create." With that, the three left the temple, knowing that while money was an important part of life, the real power lay in how they connected with the energy of their homes and themselves. They had learned the most valuable lesson of all: prosperity begins within us.